So in looking at building a fan base for basketball, I think there are like many possibilities that you could do to kind of create a foundation for a solid fan base. And looking at it kind of split up for on and off the court, especially for Division One. I mean, first of all, you have a lot of some of the best talent that there is to have. They're on scholarship, so you can tell that the talent is there, and the competition is going to be great as well. And I think that, from an organizational perspective, capitalizing on those big games where you have big names coming in, whether it be on your team or the opponents, is a big thing. For on the court, I think that some of the things that you could do is definitely increase the interactivity of the fans, like get them into the game instead of it just being, they're there as spectators and that's it. Like, I think a couple of things would be, raffling off, like working with your sponsors for raffling stuff off, especially stuff that like college kids could use. That way, it's not just going to be limited to sports people, even though that's the majority of your audience are, sports fans. I think, in addition, providing like live streaming. I think Drexel does a really good job of having live streaming, and I know a lot of programs have it, whether it be Division One, Two, or Three. But just having that live experience and the ability to watch it, even though you're not exactly there, could build a fan base. I mean, I tend to watch games online if I can't make them, especially the closer games. And in addition, I also think that the the idea of free stuff is definitely something that will at least bring people out to begin with. I mean, I think in looking at the bigger schools with Duke and like the Cameron Crazies and stuff, having like the not necessarily free shirts, but having everybody in the same color kind of creates that sense of an imagined community where everybody's kind of looking at the same or acting like the same thing and like being a part of a community. And I think that initially giving out free shirts with the name of the fan base, whether it be Cameron Crazies or Drexel's Dak Pack, I think having that and pushing that as much as possible will get people into it. And I think also even from my high school days, I think that having theme nights, whether it be toga night or a different theme, I think will get people really invested and people are going to go all out for it and they'll definitely draw a crowd. Um, for off the court, I think that definitely looking at doing segments of activities of the athletes, when they're not on the court, will allow fans to like connect with these people and kind of make them more than just basketball players, but see what they're like outside of school, outside of sports, because they are the role models for a lot of the younger generations, and just seeing how they balance practices and games and school and everything else. I think getting to know them as people more so than players is an important way to connect fans and really get them emotionally invested in your program. And lastly, I think that um, you know implementing community service and just having the team do more than just play basketball is important, especially helping out and giving back to the community. With sports in the Division One, they're kind of like I said, looked at as role models, and continuing that positive image of giving back to the community, I think will not only give them a positive image and reputation as a program, but also allow fans, um, to interact with them and do community service with them. So I think that it could provide some benefits. But, I think, like I said from the start, interactivity and integrating all kinds of um, clubs and audiences together, and even if for halftime, for example, having the different student groups do halftime stuff, I think would be really cool as well. I know for club sports, we try to do shout outs for different teams and stuff for different events. And I think even, I know in the past I've heard that club sports athletes have been recognized at varsity games. So I think even that would draw a crowd. So, it's just about integrating everyone and having everyone be a part of that community and, you know, providing incentives just to build the foundation. And then if you perform well, you're going to build a fan base for people to come see the talent as well. So I think there are a lot of different ways that you can look at it and a lot of different ways that you can expand on these different ideas. But it'd be interesting to see how all of them would play out over the years and see, how the Dukes and the different ones that have the big fan bases, how they got started. So it's definitely an interesting topic.